Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
Let us pray. O God of many names, in whom we live and move and have our being, there is a time for everything and a season for every purpose under the heavens. We are thankful for this beautiful season, a moment in time just vibrating with energy and with opportunity. We are thankful that all that we think and say and feel and do has the possibility of contributing to this moment's purpose and outcome. In truth, there are no ordinary days, but today is even less so, as we are here to celebrate this community of graduates, a community that has grown together over years of hard work and the honing of countless skills. This is the end of one season and the beginning of another. Grant that all who are gathered here receive this gift of today, seize it, and marvel in all that it is. This is a time for honoring those who met the academic challenges of this institution, all the while nurturing the faith that they would indeed succeed in their journey here at Brown. We lift our prayers of gratitude for the culmination of this journey and the endurance to run this race. And we offer thanksgiving for all who accompany these graduates along the way. As they embark on a new journey, a new season, a new chapter, we ask favor upon them and all that they do. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. Today is the Sabbath in Jewish time, a time for stopping, a day for pausing to reflect upon all that we have created, all the hard work that has been done. While tomorrow will honor and make way for the commencement of new endeavors and journeys, today is about celebrating how far you've come, about gratitude for the magic and miracles involved in having arrived to this very moment, Lazman Hazeh. So we're about to recite a blessing that marks and lifts up this miracle. And as we do, I invite you to please call to mind some of what were the finest fruits of your labors here on College Hill. As you please join me in reciting the Shehecheyanu in Hebrew and or English. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Shehecheyanu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Blessed are you, Eternal One, source of life, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this day.
Since 1638, members of this church, founded by Roger Williams, have helped to create numerous other churches and one university. James Manning, Brown's first president, was also the pastor of the First Baptist Church in America. When this beautiful meeting house was constructed in 1775, it was dedicated not only to its function as a church, but also as a place for holding commencement in. So once a year, our congregation steps aside for the students of Brown University. I am pleased to welcome you on behalf of the congregation to what is this weekend your meeting house.
We are gathered here to celebrate the commencement exercises of a secular university. Why have we gathered in a church?
All of us come to the university to seek something beyond ourselves, be it seeking the meaning of life, self-actualization, or the pure pursuit of knowledge. Many of us at this institution have done so in the context of religion. We want to briefly share our personal experiences regarding how religion has shaped our pursuit of some of Brown's values: community engagement, perspective, and personal relationships.
There is something unique about our faith, our shared beliefs about life and the world around us that connect us and bring us together in a profound way. We have all built community in differing ways throughout our time here at Brown, but it is likely that many of us have connected closely to our respective communities via the strong shared beliefs and standards that we hold dear. For a number of us, our faith, our religion, has been the binding glue of these communities. In fact, our beloved traditions, sacred texts, and our faith-filled practices have led us to build community not only at Brown, but beyond College Hill. I can personally say that my faith community during my time here has drawn me to the people whom I love the most. And it has connected me to an immense source of both spiritual, civic, and even academic engagement with the things that are so much greater than me.
The academic life is a stressful one. It's easy to get caught in the mindset that any single exam or paper is the only thing that matters or has ever mattered. During my time at Brown, my Christian worldview helped me form a healthy view of my education. My belief in a higher power and higher purpose to my life helped me contextualize my education in the past, present, and future of the world. This gave purpose to my education, but also helped me see that some things, such as my personal character and relationships with others, are more important than a perfect score on any particular exam.
Forming close relationships as an international student is difficult. I remember how profoundly helpless I felt my first night here when I understood every single word that people were saying, but did not catch any of the cultural references. It was a struggle for me, and I quickly retreated into my comfortable international circles. However, later I found my Christian faith with others to be a shared experience upon which many deep friendships were built. In fact, I dare say that many of my Christian friends are so radically different from me that we would not be friends if not for our shared faith. And yet, we do not only hang out and eat together, but we also have deep conversations about things we struggle with and our worldviews. Religion thus helped me to form the tight-knit communities I have today at Brown, which I would definitely miss.
Having shared how we have achieved these things through the lens of our distinct yet unifying Christian religious traditions, we are excited to now introduce this celebration of the diverse religious traditions that shape our classmates' worldviews. We will now hear prayers and spiritual readings from some of the world's major religious traditions that have shaped and will continue to shape our time and experiences before, during, and after Brown. Many of these prayers and readings are printed in the programs that you're holding, so you can feel free to follow along in prayer, meditation, or recitation as you desire.
Each of us derive from communities whose ancestors still speak to those who are willing to listen to the stories and the teachings in hopes of receiving their blessings. Today, as we gather, we ask that we continue to walk on the eternal corn pollen path. Each step we take, we ask that the red Mother Earth caress our feet and our hearts, imbuing us with the resilience of those who came before us. Before the sun rises, we cleanse and purify our bodies to greet our creators, and we call to them, Creators, make our hands respect the things that you have made. Make our ears sharp to hear your voices. Make us wise, so that we may understand the teachings that you have taught our ancestors so long ago. Creators, grant me the vision to see beyond tomorrow's horizon, yet still accept my daily trials that must and will be faced to survive and thrive. Creators, allow me the strength to rise each day and breathe the breath of life that you have provided me. With each breath, that my voice and spirit mingles with your songs.
Creators, heal the raw wounds of our red Mother Earth and restore to our fragile souls the connections and richness which have strengthened our bodies and our ancestors. Creators, we ask for your guidance and your protection as we ventured into the world our ancestors have made for us. Creators, we ask you and the ancestors for the forever happiness that nothing will hinder us and be as we were before with a cool breeze over our body. We seek generational strength. We seek immortal beauty. We seek transcending wisdom. We seek everlasting peace before us, behind us, below us, above us, and all around us. We seek these in order for us to become whole again. May your blessings allow us to remember that your waters, your fruits, your essence gives us and is life. Blessings from the indigenous communities, the Navajo, the Hopi, the Yavapai,
the Uni, and the Chitimacha.
Great Father, spirits and ancestors of the worldwide Africana family, kindred spirits wherever your sojourn finds you on this day of days, you, our historical elders who have cleared the path for us, we recognize you. We know you expect us to be the road markers, fully aware of the eternal connections between the path and the river. May you accept our offerings of water that we know is acceptable to all of you. May you help us remember that salt is taken out of the water and put right back into it for the purposes of nourishment. May you illumine the path of these young ones who are taking leave of Brown today, so that wherever the journey of life takes them, they remember those who nurtured them at various stages in this school of life, especially parents, grandparents, relatives, and friends. We thank you.
Hello? Gayatri va idam sarvam bhutam yadidam kincha. Vag vai Gayatri. Vag va idam sarvam bhutam gayati chitrayate cha. Ya vaisa gayati yam vavasa ye yam prithivi. Asyam hidam sarvam bhutam pratishtitam. Etam eva natishiyate. Ya vaisa prithiviyam vavasa yadidam asmin purushe shariram. Asmin hime pranaha pratishtitaha. Etadeva natishiyante. Yad vai tat purushe shariram idam vavatadyam idam asmin nantah purushe hridayam. Asmin hime pranaha pratishtitaha. Etadeva natishiyante. Yadvai tad brahmetidam vavatad yo yam bahirdha purushadakashah. Yo vai sa bahirdha purushadakashah. Ayam vavasayo yam antah purusha akashah. Yo vai sontah purusha akashah. Ayam vavasayo yam antarhridaya akashah. Tadetam purnam apravarti. Purnam apravartinim shriyam labhate ya evam veda.
Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavatitamastuma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The following is the commencement reception ceremony during Vedic times. Om Vedamanu Chacharyon Teva Sinumanu Shasti Satyam Vada Dharmam Chara Svadhyayanma Pramadaha Satyana Pramaditavyam Dharmana Pramaditavyam Kushalana Pramaditavyam Bhutena pramaditavyam, svadaya pravanachabhyam na pramaditavyam, devrapitra karyabhyam na pramaditavyam, matra devo bhava, pitra devo bhava, acharya devo bhava, atithi devo bhava, yanyanavadyani karmani, tani sevitavyani, no itarani, Yanyasmakagam sucharitani, tani tvayopasyani, no itarani. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sad. Om Shri Hanumadarpanamastu.
Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Ma tovu, ohalecha Yaakov, mishkenotecha Yisrael. Hine matov, yananai, yanananananai. Hine matov, yananai, yanananananai. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov, yananai, yanananananai. Hine matov, yananai, yanananananai.
Endusaste un, hos eklектoi tu theu, hagioi ke agapemenoi, splenkna oiktirmu, Christoteta, taipenofrosunen, prauteta, makrothumian, anakomenoi alelon, kai charizomenoi haotois, ean tis pros tina eke momfen, kathos kai hokurios ekarisato humin, hutos kai humeis, epipasin de tutois ten agapen, ho estin sundesmos tes teleotetos, kai he erene tu Christu bravueto, entais cardiais humon, es hen kai eklethete en heni somati, kai oikaristoi geneste.
You
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان.
This is a reading from Tibetan Buddhist nun Tenzin Palmo. Our ordinary lives are so busy, our days are so full, but we never have any space even to sit for a minute and just be. That's escape. One of my aunts always kept the radio on or the television. She didn't like silence. Silence worried her. Background noise rang out at all times, and we're all like that. We're afraid of silence, outer silence, inner silence. When there's no noise going on outside and we talk to ourselves, opinions and ideas and judgments and rehashes of what happened yesterday or during our childhood, what he said to me, what I said to him, our fantasies, our daydreams, our hopes, our worries, our fears. There is no silence. Our noisy outer world is but a reflection of the noise inside, our incessant need to be occupied, to be doing something.
We fill our lives with activities. Many of them are really very good activities, but if we're not careful, they can just be an escape. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do good and necessary things, but there has to be breathing in as well as breathing out. We need to have both the active and the contemplative. We need time to just be with ourselves and to become genuinely centered when the mind can just be quiet. When Sydney rings the bell, we invite you all to join us in a moment of silence.
Out of my life, you're so much better. Thought that I'd be weak without you, but I'm stronger. Thought
Thought that I'd be broke without you, but I'm richer. Thought that I'd be sad without you. I laughed harder. Thought I wouldn't grow without you, but I'm wiser. Thought that I'd be helpless without you, but I'm smarter. Thought that I'd be stressed without you, but I'm chilling. Thought I wouldn't pass my concentration, but I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop, but I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive it. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop, but I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I'm a survivor. Keep on surviving. Thought I couldn't breathe without you, but I'm leaving. Thought I couldn't laugh without you, but I'm laughing. Thought I couldn't leave without you, but I'm leaving. Thought I couldn't breathe without you, but I'm leaving. Thought that I would fail without you, but I'm on top. Thought it would be over by now, but it won't stop. Thought that I would self-destruct, but I'm still here. Even in my years to come, I'm still gonna be here. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving.
Wishing you the best. Pray that you are blessed with much success, no stress, and lots of happiness. I'm not gonna blast you on the internet. I'm not gonna lie to you when you failure. I'm not gonna hate on you in the magazine. I'm not gonna compromise my Christianity. You know I'm not gonna diss you on the internet. Cause my mama taught me better than that. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor, yeah. I will survive. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving.
After all of the darkness and sadness, there's happy days. If I surround myself with positive things, I'll gain prosperity. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I'm a survivor. Keep on surviving. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. I'm gonna make it. I will survive and keep on surviving.
So, Brown, does it get better than that? Mm-mm. Let us pray. Source of the soul's illumination and of every step of dance, fuel for every righteous conviction, compassion impelling awkward kindness and grace-filled deed, metric hewing content, the very language and grammar of justice. We arrived once deeply different in identity, language, aspiration. Yet imperceptibly, through these days on College Hill, we transformed one another, and we gather today, Brunonians all. Still distinct, not blurred, not simplistically in agreement, but joined deeply. Blown together by discernment, decision, dreams, and the sacrifices of our own and those of our families and benefactors, readied for these rigors by teachers of math and music and prayer, we came passionately seeking worthy, strong foundations for lives of purpose. Today, we are the grateful, the deeply grateful, the unfinished. And today we say Ramadan Mubarak as we greet a new season in a sacred year, seeking peace and dignity. We even say thank you for sudden steps out that door, without which we would not be here. And we are also the surprised by the deep unity and love we share with dear friends we'd never have known, but for our home together on this hill. And so in these closing moments, we risk even this intimacy, prayer. Humility insists that the superlatives of these celebrations, even the accolades we've worked hard to earn, be set aside. Life's hard and difficult purposes await. They were not easy here, and beyond these gates, our capacity and even radiant temerity will meet its measure. Yet we will continue to strive to enact transformation with passion, insight, compassion, and justice. We'll continue to listen to ourselves and to the world, sustain our visions of justice and equity, be our hope to engage with what enhances the good, be our courage to face our own inhumanity, be the grace and tenacity it takes to strengthen compassion. Radiance beyond any name, chronicler for whom none are undocumented, question beyond our forming, truth our dearest obligation, yet deeper than explication, ineffable stillness, constellation and inner muse, abide with us. These, your beloved daughters and sons, shimmer with promise and radiant accomplishment. Grant them capacity beyond what our words may speak. Give them ideas of justice that will give to the voiceless new names. May Brunonian endeavor be blessing and privilege for those who know neither. These, your ever-beloved, are now Brown's rising generation. The colors of the rose and the earth now enfold them and bear their names indelibly. The classroom's rigors and discourse, the laboratory's mysteries, the field of competition and excellence, the daily care of beloved coaches, deans, physicians, faculty, all of this friendship circle enfolds these, our many faces, a holy human gift. Those who loved us even when we did not love ourselves, who together seek and hold a vision of sacred hope, even in us. Grant grace to each, that we may find purpose beyond platitudes, that we may enact justice beyond banality, that we may embody compassion even at brutality's borders, that we may reflect the radiance of hope we receive in Brunonius halls, even to the farthest reaches of your oft-clouded but ever-precious world. And so we rise now, our privilege clear, to honor the memories of those in the Brown family, our classmates and our teachers whom death has claimed. Their place in our circle always cherished, we remember with thanksgiving our profound privilege to share their generation, and we keep a time of silence as again we hear their beloved and respected names.
From our circle of beloved students, Arvin Alangavan, class of 2017, and Carlos Bled, PhD, 2017.
And from our faculty and staff, Mark J. Baumer, Senior Library and Web Content Specialist, University Library. Wendell Dietrich, Professor Emeritus of Religious Studies and Judaic Studies. Cynthia Hannaford, Walter S. Fellman, John J. Professor Emeritus of Bibliography and Professor Emeritus of Visual Art. Michael S. Harper, University Professor Emeritus of Literary Arts. Marita Hollis, Professor Emerita of Anthropology. John Embry, Professor Emeritus of Geological Sciences. Paul M. Knopf, Professor Emeritus of Molecular Microbiology and Immunology. Harry C. Mutter, Official Scorer in Basketball, University Athletics. Jacob Neusner, Professor Emeritus of Judaic Studies. Robert Scholes, Andrew W. Melson, Professor Emeritus of Humanities. Einar Sikoland, Professor Emeritus of Psychology. Thomas Skidmore, Professor Emeritus of History and Professor Emeritus of Portuguese and Brazilian Studies. Jerome Weiner, Professor Emeritus of Engineering and Physics.
Martin Beckman, Professor Emeritus of Economics. John Burt, Clinical Assistant Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology. Robert Curran, Clinical Assistant Professor of Surgery. Ulf Granander, Professor Emeritus of Applied Mathematics and the L. Herbert Ballou University Professor Emeritus. John Guglielmetti. Robert Hopkins, Professor Emeritus of Surgery. Catherine Kerr, Assistant Professor of Family Medicine. Charles Malone, Professor Emeritus of Psychiatry and Human Behavior. Michael McCune, Professor of Molecular Biology, Cell Biology, and Biochemistry. Jean-Marie O'Brien, Instructor of Surgery. Lyman Page, Clinical Professor Emeritus of Pediatrics. S. Frederick Slavsky, Clinical Assistant Professor Emeritus of Surgery. And Peter Smith, Professor Emeritus of Pediatrics.
For these, our beloved, now entrusted in peace, and for all that has graced our lives in Brunonius halls, we offer heartfelt thanks now and always. Amen. Please be seated.
Through a field in the night, let me lift from the ground till my soul is in flight. Let me sway like the shade of a tree, let me swirl like a cloud in a storm on the sea. Wish me on my way through the dawning day. I wanna flow, wanna rise, wanna spill, wanna grow in a grove on the side of a hill. I don't care if the train runs late, if the checks don't clear, if the house blows down. I'll be off where the weeds run wild, where the seeds fall far from this earthbound town. And I'll start to soar. Watch me rain till I pour. I'll catch a ship that'll sail me astray. Get caught in a wind, I'll just have to obey till I'm flying away. Finding myself in a burst for the sky. Oh, me I'm just a fool. I should keep to the ground, I should stay where I'm at. Maybe everyone has hunger like this, and the hunger will pass, but I can't think like that. All I know is somewhere in a clearing, there's a flickering of sunlight in a river long and wide, and I have such a river inside. Let me run through a field in the night, let me live from the ground till my soul is in flight. Let me sway like the shade of a tree, let me swirl like a cloud in a storm on the sea. Wish me on my way through the dawning day. I wanna flow, wanna rise, wanna spill, wanna grow on the side of a hill, wanna shift like a wave rolling on, wanna drift from the path I've been traveling upon. Before I am
Chancellor Benkoff, trustees and fellows of the Brown Corporation, officers, distinguished guests of the university, administrators, faculty, staff, and parents and family members and alumni and friends who are gathered on the green to witness these proceedings. And most importantly, to all of you who sit before me on the eve of your graduation, excited, hopeful, eager, I suspect more than a little sleep-deprived. Let me say, let me say welcome and congratulations to the brilliant Brown University class of 2017. Tomorrow, on the lawn of this meeting house, you will officially become members of Brown's 249th graduating class, and you will begin writing the next chapter of your stories, of who you will be in your lives after Brown. And of all the possible answers to this question, who you will be, there is really only one that matters, and I suspect you know which one it is. You will be yourselves, your amazing, splendid selves. Because after you walk through the Van Winkle gates tomorrow, it's you who will answer the calls that you hear, the calls to serve, the calls to resolve, to empower, to build, to heal, to lead, and to imagine. It's you who will help set the parameters of hope for what's possible in your communities, your organizations, your enterprises, and your nations. And it's you who will reflect to the world the very best of what Brown University opened up to you, your knowledge, your skills, and your fierce social conscience. So it's really that simple. The world needs you to be true to yourself, to be exactly who you are. So our baccalaureate speaker today is someone who knows precisely what this looks like. Unless you've been living, he does, bear me out. Unless you've been living in a cave during the last year or so, off the grid, completely unplugged, or you've come to believe that all news, especially entertainment news, is fake news, you know about Daveed Diggs. You know about his Tony Award-winning turn as Marquis de Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson in the smash Broadway hit Hamilton. Yeah? You've heard his rap group clipping lay-down tracks that use crumpling beer cans and smashing cinder blocks and beeping alarm clocks as backbeats to his gritty lyric stylings.
You actually heard that?
Yeah. Sure.
Nobody bought that record.
And you've seen him on TV, on Law & Order SVU, or The Get Down on Netflix. Maybe I haven't seen that one. But does all of this mean that you really know Daveed Diggs? Nope, not even close. Daveed Diggs is about many things: unfettered expression, underground fringe, experimentation, mold breaking, delighting in contradiction, and as he noted to Esquire magazine, being, quote, the most charismatic person in the room.
I said that about myself?
Yeah.
I was talking about
But here's the serious part. Here's the serious part. Daveed's true gravity comes across most powerfully in his utter liberation. In his life and in his work, he occupies a creative space that is virtually free of boundaries. We hear it in the way that he's talked about his theater arts exploits at Brown, when he blended forms and put out his play Sweeter Than, which fused crowd interaction with hip-hop. And we hear it in the way he's talked about Clipping's music as, quote, pushing genres as far as they can be pushed. And we hear it in the way he's talked about how his core interests, history, rap, and stage, all came together in Hamilton. And we hear it in the loving ways he talks about teaching spoken word performance to teenagers at Youth Speaks in his native Oakland, California, and with the arts literacy program at Central Falls High School right here in Rhode Island, coaching those young people to find their voices and creating a space where they can be heard on their own terms. Now, one of the most iconic and really prescient images of Daveed Diggs comes from a senior profile piece in the Brown Daily Herald from September 22nd, 2004. Do you remember that? Okay. Daveed is described as strolling across the main green, oblivious to a soaking rain, headphones on, and, quote, sporting his signature fluorescent colors, yellow rubber overalls, and a tangerine orange bandana on his head. And so when we conjure up that wonderful image, the expressive attire, the music taking him places, the squaring of a torrential downpour with a casual gait, I imagine many of us would think, that's him, that's Daveed being Daveed, and we would marvel at the liberation. But that's not the best part. What comes in the next sentence in this article is that he tells the BDH reporter that, quote, on gloomy days like this, I like to brighten up my own scene. So tomorrow, you did. The Brown Daily Herald never gets it wrong. So tomorrow, when Brown University confers on Daveed an honorary Doctor of Fine Arts, he will once again confirm what pretty much everyone on the planet has come to know about him, that nobody can brighten up a scene, any scene, like he can. So please join me in welcoming Daveed Diggs.
Pour me some water. That was the best introduction I done ever. That was crazy. Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. What do you call? I don't know the formality. Faculty squad, thank you for having me. Class of 2017, what up, though? I wish I knew the roots of these skinny digit splinters. These protruding lips that chap in the winter, this bulbous nose that makes me sniffle through prose. I must be a dead ringer for someone's dead finger ring. Fingering piano keys for the ease of a track by track played back to the way back before the back of the bus days of lore folk. Wheels spinning spokes, straining the chain, choke to revoke speech. Preachers, single room schoolhouse teachers before speech therapy. Teach to reach parity.
Hilarity is a hairy peach pit, or a barren beach. With no blood lost to the belly of a leech, how easy to reach lineage. How skinny is the tree bearing fruit with root in the sand. See, effortless connection. But this texture is composed of more complex erector set pieces. Erected and speechless in the image of an image reflected, my mimesis is the visage I present and protect, but of what? Assuming I'm a dance, then the choreographer must have these same skinny hands. This is for anyone who has ever gone to sleep, hand outstretched, reaching for something that hits deep. This is for anyone who considers herself matter, too diffuse to be held and too bound to scatter. This is for the nomads who thought they had it right, now bartering with a snowman for his corncob pipe. This is for the boys and girls kept in mint condition. This is for anyone who will listen. I wrote that piece here in 2003. It's called Nomad, and it's from a rap adaptation of Gene Toomer's Kane called Sweeter Than, that Elmo Terry Morgan and Marsha Z. West, may she rest in power, and all of the academic saints at Rights and Reason Theater poured what in hindsight must have been, yeah, give it up for Rights and Reason Theater. They poured what, in hindsight, must have been a truly massive amount of money on the blind faith that a 21-year-old reluctant theater concentrator had any idea how to transform one of the greatest and most underappreciated works of American fiction into a fully realized play. And reciting those words again now, it kind of sucks, right? I mean, like, a little bit, that my mimesis is the visage I present. What the hell, dude? You're like 21, what do you know about anything? Hitting the block like a hammer, hitting the nail on the head, and came from a city where hammer made hits and kept people fed and fighting for fetty. We hitting the block with hammers and headed into the gritty and ready to rack a catch till they dead. By committee decided whether to ride at another sucker and fire him like it's early retirement. I am who they admire and wishing to walk a mile, and my zapatos are holy from grinding. Now cue the violin. I wrote that just to stunt. There's no reason. There's no literally no reason for that to be in this speech. Daveed Diggs was born on January 20th, 2015, 4 days before his 33rd birthday, at approximately 9:40 p.m. when he strutted down a fake staircase at the Public Theater in New York, singing a song his friend had written for him to sing, playing a man who would have beat him savagely for singing it had he been born in similar circumstances roughly 224 years prior. That snapping is really weird to me. I hear that's a thing here now, and do it if you must, but you could also like clap or cheer like a normal person. I ain't trying to like restrict your way of expressing yourself, whatever. About 2 years and 4 months later, he has done what 2 years and 4 months ago would have felt to him like a life's worth of things. 2 films, 2 arcs on popular TV shows, 2 tours, produced a pilot for a major network that was picked up, appeared on late night shows as a guest on a couch and as a performer, attended countless red carpets and cocktail parties and award shows, and probably too many speaking engagements, and if he's being honest, he shouldn't be here right now because he's in the last 2 days of pre-production for another thing he is cramming into a life that feels too short because it didn't start until he had already lived nearly 33 years. And them eyes that's peeking back out from the mirror looking bloodshot. Plus, they carry baggage now. The traveling, it don't stop. Wrapped in every venue from the White House to the dope spot. Old enough to know all that experience don't show. He know a goddamn thing. Got a hot damn singing that she love him. He should probably find a rock, but she don't apply no pressure. She a diamond too. We've been out here shining on these overstuffed times like they wasn't the most violent. Eyes open, I opine. Something about how the world is blind. If the were the case, I would be just fine, but I feel like I'm being watched most of the time. But these kids are on these Twitters who are suddenly my fans, and I do it to myself because I do it for the gram, and the whole fam still push grams, but I don't post those pics. I'd rather keep their hands clean. I don't see them often no more. I got a doctor on tour saying not to talk anymore. Mouthpiece, the only piece that still don't got a lock in the drawer. I use it till only a whisper left and then fall to the floor. And I think it's this sentiment that there are only so many words one has the opportunity to say that has him here taking an opportunity to say something to what feels like a very expectant group of young people about to enter a new phase in their lives. But the problem is that he really doesn't have anything useful to say because he has only been around for 2 years and 4 months. So I will speak for him. I don't think I'm the guy you invited to speak. I don't think I'm the guy getting an honorary doctorate tomorrow. Although I did ask if I could choose what department said doctorate was given in. I asked if it could be in engineering. I was told it could not. Pre-Hamilton, the only postgraduate interaction I had with the university was in the form of laughable letters and calls from the annual fund to donate money. To donate money that I did not have. By the way, I used to work for the calling center here. Do we still call, do we still call dead people? Is that a thing that we do? Because this is like the thing I remember most from working there is reading the little script to whoever answered the phone, only to have that person tell me that the man or woman I was calling for was dead. In hindsight, this also could have been seen as a good tactic to get us to stop calling. Although it never worked, we always called again. I'm not throwing shade, this is just how the game go. People don't get asked to do these things. List of accomplishments do. And then we sort of struggle to give context or justification to these accomplishments that mostly feel like accidents. I'm much older and less interesting than David Diggs. I am far less sure of myself, although not according to that article that apparently I said I was really charismatic. But I will tell you what I know, and maybe you'll find it useful. I sat right over there in 2004. I think. Although memory is a funny thing. David Diggs made this very heartfelt speech at the Tonys, and it was like broadcast to millions of people. And it was a speech about his dad wearing rainbow tights. And my mom recently sent me a picture of the actual event he was referencing, and Pops was for sure wearing navy blue sweatpants. And I had on a rainbow tank top, so David Diggs is also a liar. Anyway, in 2004, I sat somewhere here or someplace else after either walking or not from a classroom or green or something. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember commencement. Not because I was drunk, although I hope at least some of you are, because this talk is probably better. Yeah, lit section, I heard you. Just flasks in the robe. I don't remember the baccalaureate speech or the performances. I don't remember being handed my diploma. Sidebar about the diplomas, though, are they still in Latin? That's a thing. So do yourself a favor and get an official translation of your diploma, because I know from experience that when applying for a job as a substitute teacher, the clerk of the district office is neither amused nor impressed with your framed gibberish. That is so real. It took like 4 weeks for me to get the little, anyway. I don't remember these things. Not because they were unimportant. Quite the contrary. I was the first kid on my father's side of the family to graduate from college. I had accomplished a thing that... my mother had rearranged and rededicated her whole life to facilitate. In fact, I remember at some point after graduating, my mother saying to me, "Well, you made it. I'm done nagging you now." She was not. David Diggs' mother is also a liar. She's for sure gonna see this and then nag me about that. I had gotten to what I had always imagined was an end game in terms of my formal education. I mean, I'd been in school as long as I could remember, and it was done. It was a big deal. But it was another birth, and nobody actually remembers the circumstances of their birth. We have to be told them. I'm told I was born in 2 hospitals, that my mom went into labor and went with my dad to Highland Hospital in Oakland, as was the plan, but when the doctors there refused to allow her to have a natural childbirth, they picked up and drove to Alta Bates Hospital in Berkeley, saying, "You can give us a room or we can have this baby right here in the lobby." David Diggs' parents are gangsters. And so here you all are, being born, maybe with a little more agency than last time. And I actually think it is imperative that you keep alive the story and the circumstances of this birth. That you were born into a time in our country that feels different than any I have lived through. I was on a boat with Sonia Sanchez the day after our last election, and I'm gonna pause there and repeat that because that is the coldest name drop you ever heard. I was on a boat with Sonia Sanchez. That makes it sound like it was like a two-person like sailboat and we were just drinking mint juleps and she's like telling me about the Black Arts Movement and the Civil Rights Movement and I'm like talking to her about clothes from Zara Fit Funny or whatever. But we were actually on a massive cruise ship with like thousands of people and we're about to do this performance and a bunch of artists my age were in the green room having psychotic breaks about the fact that the trajectory of our country had overnight gone from one of hope to one of hate. And finally, someone had the good sense to talk to the living legend sitting calmly in the corner about what she thought of the whole thing. And Sonia shrugged and said that she had watched them kill Martin and Malcolm and Kennedy, that she'd lived through Reagan. She said, this is how it goes in America, 3 steps forward and 2 steps back always. She said, you just put your head down and keep fighting, and we all stopped whining. You're being born into a time where our country is as divided as it has ever been, where there are no easy answers, where there is no certainty about how to get a job or what constitutes a family, where the news is fake but more real than the alternative facts, where science is ignored but the globe warms anyway, where mezcal may be the most popular alcohol in the country but we're building a wall along our Mexican border, where gender is false but women still earn disproportionately less than men, where race is false, but black boys are still disproportionately gunned down by police, brown boys sitting on his knees with his eyes shut, hands behind his head, fingers folded, pinkies up, saying he ain't even do nothing what you want. They threw him on the ground when he called them all punks. Retro blue and white Jordan's tongues out. Over the black jeans, cuffed just the right amount, so that they bunch by the calves how we like. Just ran out of boxer briefs, so we wearing tighty whities and the white t-shirt in the breeze catch it just so. Pushing it tight against his chest and the red hole is getting wider as the blood is seeping through the fabric and pulling on the ground. He looks down, automatic, and the dark pavement gets darker when it's wet. He's losing balance slow, but his hand's on his head, so his face hits first and his eyes go dead and the air is sucked out of the world with his last breath. Time has made a choice of what to keep and what to throw away. Everything ingrained comes to a point so sharp could cut a piece a day and it bleeds on the ground. Keep your knees on the ground where they belong. Keep your knees on the ground where they belong. Just a couple weeks before I moved to New York to start rehearsals for Hamilton, I was riding my bike from my apartment in LA to pay rent. My landlord wouldn't accept checks, so I had to take cash to a nearby check cashing spot that did free money orders. And a police car comes careening around the corner and 2 officers jumped out and pulled me off my bike and threw me against a fence of my neighbor's house, grabbing my hands and cuffing them behind my back. 1/27th of a second between when the trigger squeezed and the bullet hits my back, we are this close. His breath is hot upon my neck, my hands are folded on my head, I'm doing everything he says, I know how this goes. My nonchalant demeanor is normally meaningless, but if I live today, I know that this will be the reason why. The badge he thinks gives him his power lets me know that actually at this moment he is every bit as scared as I. He's been trained that I'm his enemy in an institution whose motto is to protect and serve. If this is what I can expect for protection, then having that as a motto seems a bit absurd. He never questioned who he was in service to, and let's be honest, man, a motto's really just some words. I know the pen is mightier than the sword, but can it stop a bullet, homie? I'm just not sure, and it's just hot. Los Angeles, summertime is the scandalous ripening of desires and fires that we have bottled up. It ain't no water, so cooler heads aren't often an option. My sweat is popping. If there's a positive motto, what is it? Since Rodney King on the TV, the LAPD is more a monster than Manning. I'm managed with it. My pride doesn't want to let me succumb. I could die just a couple of steps where I reside, and I am not the only one. I exhale and keep my voice low. Yes, you can search me. No, I do not have any weapons you should know about. My backpack is gym clothes and rent money. Sir, may I go now? And another part dies in politeness. At least not the part that can write this. But it's only so many times I can bite this tongue, and I'm not the only person who feels like this. This is what you're being born into. And honestly, thank God it is y'all. These times, in many ways, defy explanation. What these times really need are people who challenge all explanations, who never thought outside the box because they never accepted the premise that there was a box. And I know firsthand that the survival of things like Spring Weekend or like the Interracial Dating Forum, is that still a thing? If you survive those things, then we are breeding these kinds of people. Our world desperately needs you now. We need your new ideas because our old ones have made a big mess of things. If you're like I was, you're a little nervous in this moment. You know that a lot of people sacrificed for you to get to this point, and you feel like you owe them a great success story. But also, if you're like I was, you also have no idea what you're going to do after tomorrow. Maybe you have a timeline in your head, some date by which you are supposed to be successful. Let me tell you how that went for me. I went to London for a week with the track team, then I moved back home with my mom for longer than I'd like to admit. I did a bunch of plays you've never heard of. I started substitute teaching. I got a place in Fruitvale in Oakland with one of my best friends from here at Brown who had moved to the Bay Area because he didn't fit in anywhere else. I decided I needed to try to live in New York. I couch surfed in New York for 9 months, often sleeping on the subway. I auditioned 10 to 12 times a week, booking nothing. I ran out of money. I used my mom's frequent flyer miles to move back home. I did a bunch more plays you've never heard of. I designed rap curriculum for Bay Area middle schools. I fell in love several times. One of those times prompted a move to Los Angeles. I landed a commercial agent. I auditioned for a lot of commercials. I booked one. It was a McDonald's commercial that I booked the same week as I had also agreed to do a reading at a theater in Berkeley and had said I would attend my best friend's bachelor party in Vegas, which means I spent most of that week riding overnight Greyhound buses except for the 7 hours I spent in Vegas doing Molly. I started a band called Clipping that nobody liked. I toured a lot. I did a bunch of workshops and readings. My friends Lynn and Tommy, who I had met due to a clerical error during a substitute teaching gig, asked me to be in a musical. I went to New York to be in a musical, and David Diggs was born on January 20th, 2015, 4 days before his 33rd birthday at approximately 9:40 p.m. And I don't feel successful, and neither does he, if he's being honest. But we know he has trouble with honesty. So the best advice that I can give to those of you who are worried about the when of the rest of your life is stop tripping. I'm sure you will all have long lists of accomplishments and multiple rebirths. Some of you will have accomplishments that are asked to speak at colleges or other prestigious institutions. Dope, do that. They all add up to a pretty silly speech. But the work for you and I and us all in this is the day-to-day. It's the stitching together of a nation divided. It is in the honest effort to understand the circumstances that the people around us were born into. It is in the boxless thinking. So remember the circumstances of your commencement. Take note of the world you were born into. Tell and retell your birth story. And by all means, forget this speech. You are destined for much, much greater things, and I am so excited to witness it. Thank you so much for having me, class of 2017.
Class of 2017, we have come to the end of our baccalaureate. The time has come to go forth. This is a moment full of sorrow and joy.
We celebrate the bonds of friendship, even as we bid farewell.
From this moment, take courage for the days ahead.
We embrace with hope all that awaits us.
Go now in peace and rejoicing, and may all your days be blessed. Amen.